No place in the world like Manila. I'm coming home to stay.
We've witnessed how the Philippines' capital transformed from the celebrated Pearl of the Orient into a lost city marred by war. And then it was all downhill from there. In order to move forward, however, we also need to look back to our past. After all, there are so many stories and facts about Manila that those who live in the city aren't even aware of. Here are some of the most fascinating facts about Manila you probably don't know. Escolta Street is filled with the country's firsts. Escolta Street is also a must-see in Manila because aside from the magnificent sights and the nostalgia of the area, it is also home to the many firsts in the country. If you are fond of ice cream, treat your sweet tooth in Manila's first ever ice cream store, the Clark's Ice Cream Parlor, which is founded by an American entrepreneur named Met Clark. The first movie house was also established here. Opened in 1896, Salon de Pertiera started to release movies which were then French movies with subtitles accompanied by an orchestra. Escolta also boasts the country's first ever elevator located in the Burke Building. First cable car called Tranvia. And the first American-style department store named Beck's. Manila's busiest commercial districts are clear reminders of the city's modernity. Anyone who frequents these places would always expect to see towering skyscrapers, condominiums, and posh boutiques. But underground tunnels that are older than World War II? Highly unlikely. To the surprise of many, both Makati City and Bonifacio Global City in Taguig actually have secret passageways hiding underneath them. In January 2011, the crew of Manila Water discovered a tunnel during one of the digging operations at the Epifanio de los Santos Avenue in Guadalupe area. Although few details have been revealed about the said man-made tunnel, it is reportedly located 3.5 meters below the street level and is wide enough to fit several dump trucks. The Fort Bonifacio Tunnel, on the other hand, has a more interesting history to share. Located near Megaworld, the tunnel is about 2.24 km long and 4 meters wide. It is equipped with 32 built-in chambers, a 6-meter deep well, and 2 exits leading to East Rembo and Pembo in Makati City. Manila has the oldest Chinatown in the world. Go around the streets of Binondo in Manila, and check out its very own Chinatown, which is the oldest in the world. Built in 1594, Chinatown has been a center for Chinese commerce where Filipino-Chinese families operate a lot of business establishments. Ever since, Chinatown has become a prime destination for Chinese goods and Chinese food. There are a lot of great finds that can be bought at an affordable price. In the 16th century Manila, the Muslims were the ruling class while the Tagalogs were considered inferior. During the 16th century, Manila, known then as Kota Salurong, or Saludong, was under Muslim control. It all started when Sultan Bulkiah, Nakoda Ragam, of Brunei conquered the kingdom of Tondo and established Kota Salurong as an outpost of his sultanate. Soon, the Muslims became the ruling class and fully controlled the wealth, trade, and the seat of government in the old Manila. The Tagalogs, on the other hand, were considered second-class citizens who wore long hairs, carried weapons such as daggers, and rarely traveled by land.
Before we proceed, please subscribe and don't forget to click the notification bell down below and leave your comments and suggestions.
The height of Quezon Memorial Shrine's 3 vertical pylons was based on President Quezon's age when he died. The Quezon Memorial Circle houses the museum, shrine, and the remains of former President Manuel L. Quezon as well as First Lady Aurora Quezon. The monument has 3 vertical pylons symbolizing Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. They measure 66 meters in height, based on President Quezon's age when he died on August 1, 1944. There are also 3 angels holding Sampaguita wreaths on top which were created by Italian sculptor Monti. On August 19, 1979, President Quezon's remains were transferred from Manila North Cemetery to the Quezon Memorial Circle. In the same year, President Ferdinand Marcos declared the site as a national shrine. Felix Hidalgo Street in Quiapo was once considered the most beautiful street in Manila. Named after the famous 19th-century Filipino painter, Felix Hidalgo Street, in Manila, is known for connecting two churches, the San Sebastian Basilica, and the Basilica of Quiapo. Although it is now filled with illegal settlers, dilapidated houses, and commercial establishments, Hidalgo Street was not like this centuries ago. In fact, it was called the most beautiful street in Manila, in 1817, mainly because of the grand mansions that once stood in the area. Unfortunately, the once celebrated street started to decline during the 1960s. U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower almost became Quezon City's first chief of police. In October 1939, President Manuel L. Quezon started to discuss his plans of establishing a new city with General Douglas MacArthur, his military advisor at that time. The late president valued the latter's opinions due to his keen, analytical mind. After he decided that he would take over the mayorship, Quezon asked MacArthur if he knew someone who could be an effective chief of police for the new city. MacArthur immediately scanned the room and pointed to one of his assistants. The young man, as it turned out, was then Lieutenant Colonel Dwight D. Eisenhower, a future U.S. president. Of course, Eisenhower was qualified for the position as he had some police training in the States. But when Quezon was about to appoint him, the young Eisenhower refused and explained that he already made a promise to his wife to go back home after his tour of duty is over.